Hello, online class, Comp 1. It's Student Success Day here at Central Lakes College. Only one of you came to visit my session, and that's okay. Didn't hurt my feelings too much. Went pretty well. Almost 20 people came. And I hope you're doing well on yet another beautiful September day. In that last lesson, the one with the silliness with the dinosaur, and the more important and more serious lesson involving the Little Debbie Snack Cake Company and all those kids that I got in all that trouble once upon a time. It is to me a really important story. Turn this music down. I should tell you, I don't know if you need to know this or not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The idea that's at the center of that story is a very ancient one. It comes from a Platonic dialogue by Plato called the Gorgias. In the Gorgias, we get an important metaphor called the metaphor of the bad boxing teacher. Socrates, one of my saints, says, hey, what if there's a boxing teacher that has a boxing school in which he solicits students to come to him so he can teach them boxing as a neutral art? The teacher's a good boxer. He can tell students how to stand, how to hold their hands, how to throw the proverbial left hook, when to lay back, when to charge, etc. But he doesn't tell his students anything about when to box, the ethics of boxing, the right and wrong of it. I know it's kind of a weird thing to imagine, but say that were the case, that there were such a boxing teacher who taught boxing as something neutral. Socrates asks, if a student of that boxing teacher then goes out into the street or the corridor and beats the living snot out of the first person that they see, whose fault is it? Is it the fault of the boxing teacher, or is it the fault of the student? And I know you can go up that road and say, well, who taught the student right from wrong? Wolves? You can also blame it on the teacher. But I want to tell you before we move further here that when I allowed those 55 students back in the day, years ago, to write all those companies, I was being exactly that. I was being a bad boxing teacher. I used to teach rhetoric as a neutral art, okay? As something that I really didn't want any responsibility for. My attitude was kind of like, hey, boys and girls, here's rhetorical theory. Do what you will with it. Do what you will. It's up to you. And I really am lamenting the fact that in those early years as a rhetoric teacher, I did not take more responsibility for my teaching and for my students' learning. Language is what makes us human. I'm repeating myself, but there really is a right rhetoric, a wrong rhetoric, as well as a gray rhetoric. We're all trying to behave. You can do tremendous harm with rhetoric. You can do tremendous harm to people with words. You've all heard that phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Plenty of times in my life, I think I would have taken the sticks and stones. We're going to move a little bit further into this theory. I'm not going to finish the entire lesson here because I got to get my son's guitar over to B sharp in downtown Brainerd. It's got a dead fret on it. When I get home, back to my little lake home in the peat bog down there, I've got some more things for you to wonder about. And I want to move now to the 5 houses of rhetoric. There are 5 big areas that I think you're going to find have a little bit more application in your life as writers. They are invention, arrangement, style, memory, and delivery. Those are the 5 houses. And such a beautiful day. Maybe I'll give this lesson outside.